What's up, amazing people? So, I am on the task of 30 minutes with movement. So I call it wow. That's walking on the word. Like literally, we're walking, but we're discussing things from a different perspective. Today's power word is self-doubt. And I know you may think that how is there power in self-doubt? Well, the beautiful thing about self-doubt is realizing and understanding, number one, why you have it, and then really tapping in and identifying that it's a lie. That's a beautiful thing, right? The reasons why you usually hold on to that or hold on to that mindset or to that factor is because you may believe or you may think that whatever reason is true. But this is what I want you guys to consider, right? I want you to consider this and I want you to think about this because we don't in a lot of incidences. Number one, two, and three, we were not born with the spirit of fear. We were not born thinking that whatever we wanted to do, that we wouldn't be able to do it. We were not born thinking that because somebody else did or did not do something that we wouldn't be able to do it or that we wouldn't be able to accomplish a thing. That's not something that automatically happens. What happens is the bad thing, or it can be bad, but we're using bad as an acronym, B.AD. What happens is we tap into the beliefs of those who love us, the beliefs of our environment, our cultural beliefs, right? Religious beliefs, statistical beliefs, and all of these other things that may have a bearing on how the people who are put to raise us, to love us, to groom us, that's how they believe. And because they may believe that no, that ain't gonna work out because that ain't how it's done, or you gotta go to school and you got to get you a good job, or if you don't go to school you got to go to the service in order for you to be successful, or if you don't do those two things then you have to go to like your neighboring factory or that place that has really built up families and the blue collar workers and different things like that. You got to go and get a 401k. You got to do like the traditional route, because when you think of entrepreneurship or you think of doing something different, you think of going and really expanding with your gifts. You want to really reach out and you want to be that artist that you can be. You want to be that dancer, that singer. You want to be that stylist. You want to do whatever it is that you really desire to do. And because they don't see the vision that you see, or they don't see that thing fully played out, or they haven't had examples that they could relate to or that they know personally that made that happen for themselves, then they'll put their beliefs on you with, well, no, that was just the luck of a straw, or people from a small place, nope, that don't happen for them, or no, they knew somebody that knew somebody, or ain't no telling what they did to get that, that kind of thing. And because they believe that way and they instill their beliefs in you, then they have you to believe that there's no hope for you in whatever that realm is. They have you to believe that you're believing too big, that you shouldn't be thinking like that, that you need to, start small. That, that's how we say we got to crawl before you walk, which is true. But at the same time, does it really apply to every situation? What if you're in the position of already walking in whatever it is that you're doing, and you are at a certain point in your life and in your career where you have really become established, and because you have that mentality that you got to crawl before you walk, you go and you do mediocre things with your big ideas, your big dreams, your big talents, and then you feel unfulfilled. Why? Because of the beliefs of other people that you love or that have had a hand in establishing who you are and what it is that you do and how you think. That's what it is, right? So then when you go even further with these beliefs, then we go to the A, right? We go to the A. Whenever you think about self-doubt, 9 times out of 10, that doubt grows bigger because it's okay. That doubt grows bigger because of the actions that you take or the actions that you don't take. So whenever you believe in a certain way, you act accordingly. Whenever you believe a certain way, you act accordingly. So when you see opportunities and you cower down, or as we talked about yesterday, you shrink down and you play small, then you don't allow people to know that, you know what, I can do this. I'm capable of this. I'm good at this. And I have the ability to do these things. It doesn't work that way. Why? Because you're not taking the proper actions. You won't have the confidence to have the conversations that you need to have. You won't take the action to send an email, to make a phone call, to go to a networking event, to go and have a conversation with a friend, to do anything that's going to bring you closer to whatever that thing is that you desire to do. Why? Because the way that you believe then determines the type of actions that you will take. Then the D in B.A.D is decisions. It's decisions. When you think about it, I want you to think about it like this. When you think about self-doubt, you have had to make a decision within yourself to doubt yourself. You have made a decision within yourself that whatever you're afraid of doing or whatever you've been putting off doing, that you have decided that that reason is true. You have given that reason validity by acting accordingly. So when you really think about it and you turn it around and you look at it the way that it really is, and don't try to make it be something that it's not. Don't try to make it be somebody else's fault. Don't try to make it be a situation where we play the blame game. We're not doing any of that. When you think about where you currently are right now and where you desire to be, there's a gap between the two. And in that gap, you have self-doubt. But the problem is self-doubt is leading you. But if you were to turn it around, and now we're going to make bad a good thing. If you were to turn it around and you would change your perspective and your belief in whatever it is that you desire to do. Keita, how can I change my belief in it? Because you can find evidence of whatever it is that you want to do being done already by somebody else. You can see other people who have been a success in that thing already. You can read literature that will help you. You can go to Uncle Google, honey, and you can bring up information that will educate you. You can listen to audios, podcasts. It's so many different ways, videos pertaining to whatever it is that you desire to do that can help you see things differently. And whenever you're thinking about changing things and changing your beliefs in things, you cannot change your belief without changing your perspective. So how do I change my perspective, Nikita? I'm glad you asked. In order for you to change your perspective on a thing, you have to, and I mean have to, base it on the word. What does the word say about self-doubt? What does it say about self-doubt? He said, delight yourself in him, in everything that you do, in all things. You take it to him. You pray about it. And if you just hold still in him, he'll direct your path. If you were to build this relationship with him, get in the word, go and tap into your anchor scriptures whenever you start feeling a certain way or whenever you start going through certain things, then you'll be able to understand, oh, this is what that means. Oh, this is how I'm able to tap into that. Oh, this is what I should do. It's literally a roadmap. It's a roadmap for this journey called life that will get you to wherever you need to be. It will get you to wherever you need to be. When you think about a GPS, think about the Bible. It's God's plan strategies for your life. So whenever I give the anchor scriptures, I do that for a reason. I do that simply because I know that sometimes when you're going through a certain thing and you're trying to figure things out for yourself, then you want to know, well, what does the word say about it? What does God say about it, right? So whenever you are able to change your perspective, you change your perspective according to what he says about it. You change your perspective according to how he feels about you. Because he said, let whatever any man say be a lie, but let everything that he say be the truth. So the truth of the matter is, he said that if you tell the mountain to be moved, and you believe that it will be, it shall be. Now, you know I'm paraphrasing that bad boy, but you know what I'm saying. Now, of course, he ain't talking about going out there with a huge rock. Hey, how are you? That's a mountain and all that other, and you're just going to be out there moving literal mountains. But at the same time, all right, but at the same time, a mountain can be a burden. A mountain can be a trial. A mountain can be a challenge. A mountain can be a stronghold, right? So if you say that these things need to be removed, if you say that you no longer want to go through this, if you say that you want to be done with whatever this is, that it can happen for you. But you got to say it in faith and believe that thing. So if you want to change your perspective about you as a person, you want to change your perspective on how you view life, then you got to first go and identify with what he says about you as a person and what he says about life. He said, I want you to have life and have it more abundantly. So whenever you start tapping in and you hearing people with this whole mentality of, well, if he don't do nothing else, then I'm good. Well, I mean, you got to be thankful for the small things. And, well, you know, it's the little thing. You know, they do that thing. Now, there's nothing wrong with being humble. There's nothing wrong with accepting what it is that he blesses us with, because in all things give thanks. But at the end of the day, when you have an at least mindset, that's exactly what you always have in life, the least. Okay? So your beliefs have to be changed by the renewing of your mind. The only way you can renew your mind is if you get into the Word of God and you know what the Word says about you, what the Word says about your, what can you say? About your future, what it says to do about certain situations and certain problems and challenges and circumstances, because all of it is in there. All of it is in there. So when you go and you can challenge life, and you can challenge the enemy with the word of God. That's why they say it's your sword, baby. The word is your sword, right? So when you can challenge it, and in this fight and in this battle that we sometimes go through with what he says, then guess what? It's going to come to pass, because it's impossible for us to use what he tells us to use and the information that he gives us to use that he says will work on our behalf and it not work. Okay, now I know that was a lot on beliefs, but it takes a lot for belief, because y'all don't be believing. My God. And I'm talking to myself with this too, with certain things that I do or desire to do. I've sat on so many ideas. I've sat on so many different things that could have really been amazing. But because I had self-doubt, I never implemented and never did. But you know what he ended up showing me? He showed me evidence that it really would happen. You need help, or is that fine? That was smart. He shows me evidence that it really would happen, because he will allow me to see somebody else do it. And I'm like, God almighty. He was like, nah, chick, I gave it to you first. I told you to do it. But no, you ain't want to do it. So there it is, right? So we have to change our beliefs, baby, okay? And when we change our beliefs, guess what it's going to do? Number one, it's going to make you feel better about yourself. Number two, it's going to give you a sense of security, because you're going to be like, yeah, that's what they said, but according to what? When, you know, I'm a nurse in real life, right? So We have this thing where we always say as evidenced by. So if you come and you tell me something, if you come and you report something to me and you saying it to be true, then I ask you, as evidenced by what? And if you can't give me evidence-based information, then to me as a nurse, it's not so. Okay? It's not so. So at the end of the day, I take my beliefs that way too. I believe that if it happened for somebody else, then it can happen for me too. I believe that if he worked things out for other people, he'll work it out for me too. I believe that if other people can accomplish it, then I can accomplish it too. And because I believe that way, my actions follow suit. So now we're going to go into the actions for you guys. Number one is going to build your confidence because you have something that you're anchored on now. Number two is going to build your boldness because instead of you going on what the other people say, or the people with the limited beliefs, or the people with the small thinking, or as my dad would say, the stinking thinking, or the people who were too afraid to do whatever, and now they putting their fears on you, instead of me taking action according to their beliefs and according to what they have experienced, then I take action according to what I desire to experience. And if you want to experience something new, you have to do something new. If you want to experience something new, you have to do something new. So that means you got to take action. And you got to take the type of action that's going to get you closer to what it is that you desire and get you closer to what it is you want to accomplish. So if you taking action means you're going to stop doing a thing. You may stop being around certain people. You may stop going to certain environments. You may stop staying up late. You may stop just getting up and going through the day and letting the day get away from you, because now you need to be on a schedule. Now you need to identify what it is that you really need to tap into that's going to get you closer to what it is you want to accomplish. So if you ask yourself right now, self, what do I want to accomplish? What do I want to achieve? How do I want to win in this season of my life, and in what area? If you can identify that, then you need to be able to write out the steps that is going to require for you to do it. And if you can't write out the steps that is going to require for you to do it, then that means you got to go and get more information. Because a lot of times people lack confidence because you don't have the information. So you go get the information, or you go get the person that can give you the information, and then you identify the steps that you need to take in order to accomplish whatever it is. It is my belief that no matter what it is that you want to do, when you identify the steps that you have to take, the first two steps, you already have everything you need to do it. The first two steps, you always have everything you need to do it. The problem is we don't dig into and we don't tap into the right resources to identify what we need to do to even know what that first step is. You got to do the work. So you identify what that looks like, and you go and you ask people, well, I don't even know where to start, which lets me further know you hadn't looked into it. Because a simple Google search can tell you where to start with something. A simple search with you asking the same question that you would ask somebody else will get you on the road of identifying, right? So we have to take action. But not only do we have to take action, we got to take the proper action. And when we take the proper action, baby, action loves traction. Action loves traction. Right? There's joy in progress. Dr. Wayland Wallace, when he was teaching us at church, he made that comment and I never forgot it. He said, you keep going, you keep doing, you keep building, and the more you do and the more you accomplish, the more joy you'll have in your life. He said, there's joy in progress. And I never forgot that, right? And then we go to the decision part. Family, we have to make up in our minds, right, that we are only going to believe what the word tells us to believe about ourselves and about our situation. And even if things are not going that way, even if Life is presenting different, even if the environment is not conducive to what the word says that we can have or how it's going to work out. Then you tap into what does it says when you start doubting. What do it says about losing faith? What does it says about what does it say about me need to really increase my faith, me being able to increase my confidence? How can I increase the way that I see, right? Because it's in there. Beliefs are decisions. I'm going to say that again. Beliefs are decisions. And because beliefs are decisions, oh, I didn't even know that did our acronym for B.A.D. Because beliefs are decisions, it can be a bad thing, right? Or we can make it be something that turns a bad thing into something amazing. Whenever you believe a certain way, you have decided that it is so, right? I believe that whatever I want in life wants me back. And because I decided that whatever I want in life wants me back, in my mind, whenever I identify what that is, it has no choice but to happen. But I do know, and I have enough of sense, that I got to put action behind it. Faith without works is dead. So no matter what I believe, no matter how firm that belief is, if I don't have the faith, the hope that it will happen, if I don't go through the necessary steps to make it happen, if I'm not in tune with his voice to hear what he's telling me to do on this journey to ensure that it happens, it won't. Then on the flip side of that, sometimes the thing that we're thinking about or the thing that we desire, it may happen. It may come to pass. But will we sustain it? Will it be the way that we thought that it would be? Will it be profitable? Will it bring joy? Will it do any of those things? Because when we do it our own way and we don't include him in it, then we leave out the glue that holds everything together. So when you decide that you want a new life, you decide that you want things to be different, you decide that you no longer want to feel a certain way, you decide that you no longer want certain people in your life that treat you a certain way, you decide that you want your finances to change, you decide that you want your physical mastery to change. Oh, we out here, baby, right? You decide that I want my endurance to change, I want my prayer life to change, I want my faith talk to change. I want to have these changes in my life. And because I want these things to happen, I have to, number one, believe that it can. I got to believe that it can. Because when I believe it, I've made a decision that it will. Okay? I got to take the necessary action. And I got to be consistent. I have to be consistent. What's stopping you from being consistent? What's stopping you from showing up? Right? One of my coaches says, excuses are nothing but reasons wrapped up in lies. Excuses are nothing more than reasons wrapped up in lies. So you have to ask yourself, this excuse, is it really that? Or is it something that I put a little seasoning on it? Baby, you done put a little Lyrie's on it, sprinkled a little garlic parmesan on it, honey. I don't know what you got going on. You have identified something that could be a barrier or an issue with you accomplishing your goal. And instead of you identifying what you can do to take action to eliminate it, you're using it as a reason for you to stop. You ain't by yourself. We've all done it. But at this point in life, it's time to stop doing it, right? I'm back in my neighborhood now. At this time in life, it's time for you to stop doing it. If you make up in your mind you're going to do a certain thing at a certain time every day, and then one of the days time get away from you, or things become overwhelming, or you just can't do it for whatever reason at that time, it doesn't mean not to do it at all. It just means you might have to do it earlier or later, but you still need to get it done. Even when I do this, I usually do this during the evening, but because I already knew my schedule started revamping itself and a lot of things was going on, I was like, you know what? I might not be able to do it. Then I had to think about it. Girl, yes you can, because you got a good hour before you have to go and do that first thing for this evening. And you only doing this for 30 minutes. So go ahead, do that 30 minutes. And when you get in, you got 30 minutes to get yourself situated to pop off on the next thing that you have to do. And mission accomplished. So the same way we get real comfortable to validate the excuses or the reasons why we can't do a thing, we need to also be mindful enough to identify what's trying to stop us or what is in our way, so that we can then turn around and develop a plan or action steps to get it done. To get it done. So again, our power word is self-doubt. I need for you to identify, how are you allowing self-doubt to stop you? And when you really think about it, if you say, well, I have doubt because I failed before. Well, no, you have experience from the lesson you learned from not passing. You see what I did with that right there? It is my belief. I made the decision that when things don't happen, or when things don't give me a pass result, when I got to repeat something, or whenever I have to do without something, there's a lesson in it that I can then apply to whatever I'm doing currently or to whatever I'm doing next. So number one, I won't make the same mistakes. Number two, I can grow from whatever that lesson was. And number three, I can get closer to accomplishing it that next time. But what we do, we immediately go into the mindset of defeat. We immediately start with the woe is me. We immediately, well, I ain't gonna do it no more because, do you know how foolish that sounds? But if we talking to a child or we talking to somebody else, we encouraging them, we building them up. We telling them, no, you keep on trying, you keep on doing. Why don't you keep trying? Why don't you keep doing? Identify what it is that stops you from being consistent. And when you come with just lazy, procrastinating, all of those vague answers, dissect it. Why are you so lazy? Like, what's good? Why you keep putting things off when you can go ahead and get them done? Like, put a name to it. Put a description with it. Because we need action steps to get you from doing that. We need the action steps to move you from that mindset, right? The only way you're going to be able to transform anything in your life is to first transform the way you see life, the way that you see yourself in life, and the way that you think about life. Self-doubt is the enemy's way of whispering lies in your ear and trying to convince you that they're true. All right? You keep being amazing. You keep stepping on the enemy's neck. And as I always tell you, remember, you are somebody. So am I. The Lord loves you. And so do I. Continue to stay tapped in. Make sure you follow me on the social media platforms if you're not inside this, if you're just inside this group right here. On all social media platforms is I am Nikita B, because that's who I am, and it's enough to tell them thank you, okay? But on Facebook, it's just plain Nikita B. I appreciate you guys so much. You know that I love you. Keep being amazing, and always know that I'm cheering for you.